Oh yeah, flattery. So yeah, I would just so that everyone on this channel doesn't think I'm a complete idiot or stooge or just loser. Um, yeah, I asked a girl out, nice girl, young girl, out on a date. She said yes, and we went on 2 dates so far, believe it or not, and we had a good time. So yeah, trying to write me off. So and also I managed to get some workings with a media company. Believe it or not, I walked in their office and wanted to do some dealings, and they said, "Yeah, you know what? We're open to the possibility." So this is me just kind of marching through the the wasteland. Um, I think I missed. Stop me if you heard this one. But yeah, another kind of like thing where you know what's great about 50? You don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That's it. Um, embarrassment, derision, and failure is pretty much my three meals of the day. So what do you want from me, man? I'm not gonna. I always, obviously I was a very shy kid, very nervous. I couldn't even pick up a phone. I was so nervous. When the phone rang, I literally would like, duck under a bed. Like I was completely like telephobic. Didn't like it. Didn't like speaking on the phone. Couldn't ask a girl out. It was very difficult for me. Um, I don't know if you read anything about me. My life story is that my best bud growing up, um, he would he would meet. He had the gift of gab and a swagger, and he would always talk to girls. And the girls always had a friend, which were always like attractive or good looking. So so I relied on him all the time. So like he'd pick up a girl, they'd go out and be like, oh, he'd stick up for me and said I had a friend, and then I would get a girlfriend because he had a girlfriend. So we went through this whole thing. Like I would go get every time he had a new girlfriend, I'd get a new girlfriend because once he broke up with that girl, it was like, well, I can't go out with the other one anymore because it's going to be awkward. So that's a good friend. And it wasn't one of those jump on the grenade situations either. It was good looking women too. So I thank him for that. But now I'm on my own. He's married. I'm on my own now, and yeah. So with this whole thing, going through my decades of whatever, basically it's always like, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? What's going to happen? And my whole life it's been that way. Worried about what other, the rejection, and also because it's not even just rejection. It's the silence, the awkwardness, the embarrassment, and it's like, there's nothing that I feel like I can do anymore. It's like, so what if I get embarrassed? I'm embarrassed all the time. Like I somehow thought that magically one day would change. That like somehow it would be less embarrassing or less awkward. Unfortunately, um, and I look at it this way, and I'm not, it's not even trying to be a misogynist, but it's like, you ask these girls out, maybe they'll laugh, maybe they'll chuckle, maybe they'll make fun of, and be like, oh, I can't believe you did that. Ladies, one day they're gonna stop asking, uh, and and then one day they're gonna stop saying yes to me too, because whatever. When I be 90 years old, I'm not gonna ask these girls out. It's like when, if not, as Reagan said, if not now, when, if not who, if not us, who? Like it's literally like that kind of. It's that. What can you say? When? There's no magical date anymore. There's no. There's nothing left except to just freaking go for it. And it's difficult. It's painful. It's really. I couldn't, as usual, I couldn't pick a worse time to embark on this kind of idea when most people and most of these women would say I'm over the hill or just not viable at all. I might have pickled my looks for another, I can pickle them for maybe, if I'm lucky, 4 to 5 years. But time catches up, and then what? Then if I look really completely scragged and haggard, then what? Unless I'm filthy rich, they're not going to even give me the time of day. They barely give me the time of day now. So, um, and even and I want things to get better and further along, but even if they don't, it's still better than it's been the past like 2 3 years, like without, it's just like punching and pushing, definitely, because I got no. It's not even saying I don't have any choice, but it's like this is the only way. If I really want things to happen, I have to just bash down every door. It's not even choosing the doors, it's just like choosing every door. And it's unfortunately that's the same way I gamble. It's like I make every bet because I don't know what bet to make. And I remember my friend Chico growing up, he says, like, if you ask 100 girls out, 10 are going to say yes, which is then 10%. And even if you ask 100 girls out, one says yes, you still, that's still one, and he had that. And this was a kid who was 14 and doing that, 14, 15, and he had this, you know, talking, and it's like, okay, so they said no, they talked to somebody else, and like, this is a great lesson. I watched him do this. I should have learned that lesson 35 years ago, not now. Now, buddy. Like, really, dude, unbelievable. And I feel like I could have solved all of life's equations. Like everything could have been just great right now, and they're completely on another planet of great, and it's sad. It's my fault. All this stuff. Well, at least a lot of it, but also just not being certain and things not being a certain way. I don't know. Was I ready to settle? Am I ready to? Am I trying to settle now? I don't know. The world is a big place, and a lot of things are going on. It's like I don't know if there's just this period at the end of the sentence per se. I don't know. It's where everything gets confusing because it's like I don't know. Maybe. Um, and then and then people wonder about me. Like I'm being asked questions. Like I'm being interrogated by women and by these people. So I'm looking for a button that I bought. New museum opened up, and so I wanted a fancy bag, and they wouldn't sell me the bag unless I bought something. So I bought the smallest thing they had, which was a button. Oh, I got it. Good. Um, but yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's the equation could have been solved 20 years ago. Um, but I don't know. It's not even about life and its journeys and its mysteries. It's just like I just want things a certain way, and it's just like I don't want to. I don't know. It's like fish in a fish tank. It's like I don't want to have yearning or anything. I don't want, and somehow I don't know how to explain it. Just things could have been great, but I needed to go out into the wilderness. I don't know what I'm going to find in the wilderness. Obviously, there's no shelter, there's no food. You're starving to death in the big cold woods. But I don't know. And then you think about, but then everything's like the hunt. I'm on the hunt every day. And it's not just like, like I'm some lecherous, like, it's not really about women, but it's the galleries, it's the art, it's the ideas, it's the opportunity, it's speaking to people, trying to come up with new ideas. There's this mind of a hunter inside of me, and I don't consider myself a hunter at all. But it's just that kind of like, where's the action? Where's the game? The action needs to be there. And it keeps me engaged, and it keeps me lively, and it keeps my mind flexible. I mean, it's a lot of stress, but it also opens up a lot of possibilities inside of my head. To have everything just settled, and like, and I mentioned this probably before, but like the best thing is that there is no one around. I can experiment as much as I want, till I guess until as long as I want until something serious happens. But yeah, I'm able to, if I take it or leave it, this job, that job, this idea, that idea, I could just throw it away. Not that I want to be disposable with people, but I could just walk. That's it. Things don't work out, bye bye. And no one suffers for it except really for me, which I do. I do suffer for it, but at least no one else has the same. Same thing like I mentioned, like even with the drinking, it's on me. if I fail, I fail. I fail on my own. No one's beating me over the head and crying because I fell off the wagon. It's my choice. I went out tonight, plenty of alcohol, plenty of wine everywhere, just didn't do it. Had every opportunity to do it. The galleries that I go to, there's copious amounts of wine. And it was one of actually a few times today, which is rare, that I actually didn't even think about it. I didn't have like the thirst inside of my head, which is good. I'd rather kind of just walk right past it and like not think about it. And I did, because you start seeing people and they were sloppy, and there was some sloppiness going on, and a lot of the mood of the place was not cool, because everyone's just no one's in control, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And you just want to be like, okay, guys, I'm done. I don't have to feel like I have to stagger out of the place or feel committed to stay longer because I'm not sober or I need to get sober before I leave, which never really works out, because then you wind up drinking more. Anyway, before this clip goes over.